So at the time, Cocoa Tea was yours then?
But not really mine. It was just like a song that we just started, right? And, you know, Kes was like, yeah, this bad, whatever. And Kes then come on, like, swapped out certain things and, like, make it. When I heard the Miss House, she named that they added. Yeah. I was like, whoo. Yeah. No place like home.
Welcome to the Therapy Lounge. Yours truly, DrJay, the Soca Prince on the inside. Remember to subscribe, like, comment, all them kind of things. Share the love, share the vibe. This is a space where we have real conversations about real life with some, you know, artists, entertainers in the soca space. And it's an honor today to be with Mical Teja. How are you doing, King?
I'm good, man. Coming off of the CNE Bandshell high.
Yeah. Talk about that. I mean, it was soca day at the CNE. I know you basically flew in same day.
Yeah. I mean, first of all, I must say, bro, thanks for having us here. You know, for me, I view myself like a student of the art form. And just to be a part of that and a part of that legacy of just seeing soca at the CNE Bandshell.
Yeah.
I mean, definitely is amazing. And just seeing all the people come out like Trinidad and Tobago represented fully last night, boy. So it's definitely a blessing.
Yeah, man. And thank you and you know, management, everybody for always being available for these kind of opportunities, because not everybody takes advantage of these things. And even when, you know, we did the Apple Music takeover, you was available to do the calls.
So that's crazy, right? So when you actually hit me up, I had to rush back home to kind of set up a little setup because we was doing a shoot during the day now. But I just didn't want to, I couldn't say no. I was like, nah, boy, this is like, you know, representing for the culture. So I was like, you know what? All right, cool. Give me like an hour. When she told me it was like 1 o'clock, 1 or 2 o'clock around that. I was like rushing back home just to kind of set up a little lights, get something, you know what I mean?
No, I appreciate that, man.
Yeah.
So let me take it back, because even in doing the research for this, I didn't realize you was 15 years old when you wrote a song for Destra. Is that true?
Well, 14 at the time, but then I turned 15 in October when everything kind of
came out.
Yeah.
Then. Okay, so how long have you actually been in this music space then?
Bro, it would be like over a decade, definitely. Because I am 28 years now, so that'd be like almost like 14 years. Yeah.
So how do you even get that opportunity to write a song for the Queen of Bacchanal then?
Bro, it's up to this day, you know, it feels like kind of preordained. Looking back now, in hindsight. So, I just finished working Hilo, which is now Marcy Stores.
Okay.
In Trinidad and Tobago, right? It's like a grocery, one of the biggest groceries. And I made like $3,000, $3,000 to $4,000. And I was telling myself, you know, I could go back out to school, fresh Air Force, John sport bag,
right.
You know. And then something told me, you know what? I was making beats at the time.
Okay.
Right? And I had like this little song or whatever. And just bravery of youth, I think it is. And I just messaged Casey Phillips because, you know, I watched one of the credits for all of these massive hits.
And he
is the guy.
Yeah.
So I just came across his Facebook page, add him as a friend, and then message him, hey, bro, you know, this is a big fan, whatever. You know, I'd love to kind of work with you or whatever. And the man actually respond. So when he respond now, I was like, yeah, well, I have this song and I would love to come and record it down by you or whatever. And he was like, all right, cool. So I'm thinking, well, I'm going to meet him and, you know, and, you know, try something. And I didn't even meet him. It's actually Ashwin C. Gobin who was engineering at the studio at the time.
Okay.
And he engineered it and everything. And so it's like, wait, boy, me meeting this man at all?
So you had a little disappointment?
Not disappointment, but just like, all right, well, no scene.
Okay.
And then when we finish the project now, and, you know, Ashwin is like going through everything, you know, the door just open, the light shine, Casey come through. You know, and it's just like, hey, we seen bro. And it's like, yeah, man, good to meet you, whatever. And he listened to the song. And at the time, my aunt was with me because I didn't know where Palmis is. And she, you know, traveled with me down there. So he's like, oh, this song's really good, man. Yeah, but think about writing for the artist. And I'm like, nah, bro, I'm not really on that kind of vibe. And my aunt is like, hush your mouth. Yes, he would write for other artists. And I was just like, all right, because I'm like on artist mode. I want to be an artist. And probably about 2 days after that, he sent me a beat. And I wrote something on it, recorded on my little, crappy mic, laptop mic. Sent it to him, and he was like, okay, I'm going to listen to it. And I literally told him, I think this is for Marshall. Everything I write at that time, I was just saying, yeah, this is for Marshall.
Because you think it had to be...
I want the holy grail of it now. And so the first song, he was like, this is cool, but fix this, fix that, fix that. And that's when I had to like, oh, this is how you write a song. This is how you put a chorus together, a verse together. This is the vibe you're going for here. And I think doing that, it teach me a lot about like song structure and song development. And then by the third song, that's where it reached to Destra. And she then took it and then it, do what it did. And then eventually we just went on to Blacks and I won and it reached out to Ola. And then also I began producing on a more professional level as well. And then I started to write and produce and then here's the song. And then artists just keep coming and, we here today.
Yeah, and that's how System 32
started. Okay. So actually System 32 started. I had came back from South Africa because I just finished school and I spent like under a year living with my uncle over there. And I had the option to stay or to come back home. And I just felt like I could stay here and probably make it. But I need to be home. I need to conquer home. I always had that in the back of my mind. I need to like be here and do it here. So I was like, you know what, Unc? I say I had to go back home, boy. And he's like, I understand. And went back home, start over from scratch. And we started to do real remixes. So we were just like, Mr. Renzo have a song, we will do this. Skinny Fabulous have a song, we get the stems and we just making over EDM remixes. And then we started to go into that EDM space where we were DJing and I was mic.
Really?
I was on the mic, bro. Yeah.
Okay.
1, 2, put your hands in the air. Like, like real rave thing. And it just lead on to us now taking that and then doing our own original productions with the EDM blend, like, Ola, Midnight Cruise, OLTL, and just going into the Marshall waves. And it just kind of took its own way until, I also realized, okay, I've been doing this, but I think I also need to now reach some level of growth in terms of my personal artistry.
Right.
And that's why I was like, you know what? I think it's time. I think it's time now to like stand up on my own 2 feet and be an artist.
Yeah. So how do you balance the two? I always find this with songwriters who are artists themselves, right? A lot of times, I look at people like Nadia Batson, for example. They'll get to a certain level where they write for others and then it becomes, well, I need to keep these for myself now. And you may not write as much for others. Yeah. Do you have that, I guess, dilemma or conflict in your own mind as well? Or
no, actually, because how I look at it, I look at it from an angle of, does the song fit me? So I don't ever write like, this is for me or this is for, I write a song and then
you see where it fits.
Because, so I don't really, I'm not like a big drinker, but I could write beat around bad. You know what I mean? Right. And I think this artist might sell that song a bit better. Like, I'm not the biggest limer and I go in right down when the night come, but I could write a song about that because, if we liming and we hanging out, I could feel that energy and I could channel that energy and write the song. But that don't mean I have to carry the song. So it really based on if it's personal to me. So like songs like Energy and DNA and Runaway, those songs are like real personal to me now. Especially like songs like Runaway. Runaway is really about my mom because my mom lived in the States for a couple of years and she always had that feeling of like, I want to, see Carnival. I wish I could be there, I wish I could run away and I just come down there for the Carnival, So those are songs like more personal to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
And with that one now, obviously we have the explainer connection,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
And for me, as you know, somebody been in this for a minute, right?
Mhm.
When I heard that, I'm like, nah, boy. Like, I love to see artists that connect
Yeah.
the old with the new and find a way
Yeah.
to bring it back.
I think it's something. I can't remember who was talking to me about that, but he was saying basically, you know, we have this way where we always trying to recreate when really we could just understand where you were at and try and bring it forward and bring it forward some more. And I could have took that during COVID. I spent a lot of time just going through the archives of like the oldies and the classics, even songs that my generation will not know. Like some of them don't really know those songs like that, but sometimes you just have to hear it and they'll be like, but it feels familiar.
Yes. Yeah,
I think one of the things too that hip hop did a lot in the 90s was samples. And that allows songs from like the 80s and 70s to then filter back in. And I think we are in a generation now where we are see voice it with Shadow, and I think it is there in the atmosphere some more. And Vaughn back on Our Lady, so it is there. And
GBM
I think
Neutron and
Farmer in the center with the Carl and Carl Jacobs. So I think we had to understand where we come from and then try and bring it forward. Don't stray too far from the root, but still experiment where it feels fresh, it feels brand new.
100%, man. But going back to the songwriting thing again, I mean, some of the real popular ones that you've done, Mind Your Business. How is it something where like you knew that was for Patrice, or?
So I think it was Drew. I think it was Drew or Warren had reached out to me.
Okay.
With regards to that, and they were like, "Hey, we have this rhythm here. We love something for Patrice." And I got the rhythm. I was like, oh, okay. All right. I didn't really like the rhythm at first because I was like, I feel like this feels real fast and upbeat, boy, but wasn't really in that space. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna rest it down. And then probably like 2 days after, I'm in studio, play it again, and it's like, this don't feel like the same rhythm. And I was just like, okay. And I was just like, drink water, mind my business. I was like, yeah, and run with it. And immediately when I had it there, I was like, yes, this works for a female rather than a male. Because a male saying drink water and mind my business feels kind of weird. So it's like, you know what? You know what I mean? If he's gonna win. So it's like, Patrice.
Even though there's a lot of men who need to do that too.
True.
It is what it is. But I understand what you're saying.
And then when I sent it off the first time, they kind of responded and they were like, yeah, we like it, but I feel like, no. And I was just like, all right, no scene. And then I swapped all the verses and then signed it back again. And they were like, yeah, good to go.
Nice.
So I just felt like it was a real good song. I don't ever have that feeling of like, yeah, there's a monster and it's going to shake the place. And just like, it's a real good song.
Right.
And
let it do what it has to do.
Yeah, and then it just did what it had to do.
Yeah, that's crazy. So in writing, do you ever, because you just mentioned like you don't always feel, okay, this is a monster.
I lie. I always knew DNA.
Seriously?
I always knew.
Let me take it back to DNA, because DNA really changed your trajectory, if we're being honest, right?
Yes.
This came out, I guess, around Miami Carnival. It was like October 16th. Right. Okay, so October 2023 going into 2024 Carnival, right? So this is a long lead up before Trinidad and Tobago Carnival.
Yeah.
Did you release it that early on purpose?
On purpose.
Okay.
On purpose. So I have like this, I don't know if I'll still continue it though, but I have like this omen, I guess. Or tradition of like dropping a song. Of dropping a song on my birthday in October.
Okay.
Right. And so I had DNA like right after Trinidad Carnival that year in 2023. I wrote DNA like March, April.
Okay.
And we were doing a corporate event. And I just played it for them fellas and them, and they were like, yo, this is real, man. And I was like, yeah, I feel I have it. And I've just been tweaking. So while I'm traveling and on tour, I've just been tweaking, swapping out this years because we changed all the choruses and like I spent a lot of time like just fine tuning and sculpting songs. So probably by August, I was like basically finished.
Okay.
And then crazy enough, probably about 2 or 3 days before we did the music video, the key was too high. The key was feeling too high. And we dropped the key. Had to re-record over all the vocals, everything.
Does that affect
and then head to Miami Carnival.
Okay.
No, but it changed the entire feeling of the song because we felt like it was too high to drop it down. And it just, after that, I was 1,000% sure.
Yeah.
1,000% sure. I was like, yeah. I always knew.
Yeah.
But crazy enough, right? I always knew DNA would have been a really great song. But I thought Runaway was like the monster.
Okay.
In my head. Because of, you're watching the nostalgia of things and just the meaning of Runaway. And I felt like Runaway would have been the thing.
One, yeah.
But then by the time DNA dropped, probably within 2 weeks, like you could see it was just
gone.
Yeah.
Definitely gone. And then, I mean, as you come into the Carnival, then Carnival contract, that was the year, right? Yeah. Right. So that now starts to pick up pace and you see a lot of the talks on social media, right? There's a whole set of things. So
I have this thing, right? We have this thing where we kind of tune out those things.
I was about to ask.
Yeah, we, even for me, I remember meeting Garland at Mecca. And I was like, me and him alone reasoning. And I remember telling him, I was like, bro, like, you just bunchy Garland boy, like no big tune can make me like watch you no way. Like, bro, it's full respect, full love. Like, you know what I mean? For me, I was just glad that, DNA was well received. For me, like winning a road march, or it's still a blessing. Like I'm definitely grateful for that. But for me, it was just seeing how people have like this emotional attachment to the song. For me, that was the greatest feeling. I win, lose, or draw, I felt like a winner.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I always give Garland that rate, like, bro, like you are the, even we did Soca Fest in New York, I was like, so he was saying, one of the guys was saying, yo, Garland, there's one of the young generals. And I said, yeah, but that is the general, you know what I mean? So I always give respect where respect is due, man. Yeah, man. I love that about you. I always have that respect and love and gratitude. Definitely.
I see it.
And big up to Garland as well, because when I won that year, he messaged me and he's like, hey, congratulations, keep doing your thing. And he's like, but don't feel like you go and send me no rhythm and thing and hit me up, like, so he always keep that love as well too.
Good. So obviously that come now, you win. Coming into this year now, right? This past Carnival. What are the pressures? Because I think for a lot of artists, this, especially Trinidad and Tobago, I find, it probably happens in all the islands in their own circles. But I find what I see, whether it's social media, whether it's, the news media.
Can he do it again?
It's always like, what have you done for me lately? Right? And we want exactly what you did. And then if you do too much that isn't the same thing, they blame you for that too. If you do the same thing, they blame you for that. So it's like, you can't win. You just have to do you. So I was curious about the pressures you might have faced coming into, I guess, the 2025 Carnival season.
Yeah. I mean, there is pressure, but that's only if you take it on, So luckily I was able to like tune out that pressure immediately because I knew that it would be, well, he had DNA, well, he could do this, And I was just like, I know you all probably gonna look for that, but I want to do what I feel is right, and energy just felt right. Even to banker early on in the year, like usually, coming off of a year like that, you want to wait. And I was like, nah, I'm gonna put out music, and if they love it, they love it. If they don't love it, we continue moving. Because I can't determine what you like. I can't determine what is the monster, quote unquote, but I could determine that I drop a good song. And for me, that's the most important thing. Once I drop a good song, I'm good.
Nice one.
Yeah.
So were you actually like classically trained, or you just this is all like learn as you go kind of vibe?
A bit of both. So I did up to grade 3 in music, and then I stopped.
Mhm.
I just felt like if I had continued doing classical, I wouldn't experiment as much.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, so I stopped just right before, where things get too technical.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So is it like family or is it your team? What keeps you so grounded? Like the humility, like everything around you, just even in talking to management, like your whole energy and vibe. I don't know, bro.
Well, to be honest, right? I'm from a place called Gonzales, right? It's in Port of Spain. I mean, it's a place where, yes, there's crime and that kind of vibe. And just to be coming from where I come from and doing what I'm doing is definitely a blessing. So I don't ever take it for granted at all, because, I mean, you're seeing me here now, but it could have been a totally different story.
Right.
So to be doing what I love and just traveling the world and representing our culture, I mean, it's definitely a great trade. It's definitely a great trade. So there is not, I'm big any moment, or I'm this or I'm that. Like, it's just, I'm nothing but a vessel, and it's always trying to keep your head down. And then probably just about 6 days ago, my mother sent me to wash wares. You know what I mean? It have no, you are this, no. Like, wash up them with someone, please. All right.
You had to get up and do it.
Yeah.
100%. You can't go and decide you're singing DNA to get out of that.
Nah.
It's true. So for you, because I think what I see in a lot of these artists coming up is they get tied up into these social media thing, right? We see it a lot where some people almost feel like they need social media to create bacchanal or confusion, to get more views, to get people to engage in their product. And then this is how they're going to release a song or whatever it is. Right? So I'm curious for you, you go the opposite way of tuning everything out and just focusing on what you do.
Definitely.
So how can we, and I mean, this is what works for you. So I just talking for you, your own personal thing. Like, what do you see moving forward to help a lot of these young artists coming up?
So, younger artists, they come up to me and it's crazy. They ask me for advice. And sometimes I have to take a moment, because as I told one of them the other day, I was like, you're asking me for advice, but no advice is the right advice until you try to apply it. But the one thing I did tell him is, I think you have to not try to get to the end goal so fast.
Very true.
I think we're just watching, okay, I want to win a Soca Monaco. I want to just have a big song. But I think it's understanding these steps and living within these steps.
Yeah.
Another thing too is that we try to take the elevator to success. But that elevator is controlled by so much different things. Sometimes you have to walk that steps and understand each step. And okay, this is how I need to probably get my artwork 2 weeks before the song. I need to get mix and master here. This is how I, get pre-production before to do a video and a video treatment, and having an in-ear monitor so your voice, it's so much different technical things. Understand how to hold the mic, follow the steps first before you just get a big song. And some of them take the advice. Some of them probably feel that, you just thinking, but it's really just creating your journey and trying to understand each step of that journey. So you could recreate things faster. You could, okay, if I have a song, this is how to go about doing the music video. This is how to go about promoting the music video, So it's just finding your journey and trying to understand how to get to that next level.
Yeah, no, it's well said, man. I think that it's such an issue with, and it's all across the board, right? You'll watch the highlights on social media and say, well, I want to win a gold medal in the Olympics. That's easy. I could run.
Yeah.
You know how much training
they
have to do for that 10 seconds or that 100 meters or whatever?
you know, some people just feel sometimes that we just running up on stages and performing, and plenty of the work is not even on stage.
Yeah.
Plenty of the work is in your silent time, in your downtime. You know, that's what the work is. Like, are you, you know, like for me, I have to go in the gym and train and get your stamina up.
Yeah.
And you still have to now also sharpen your creative writing.
Mhm.
You still also have to build your skill set in terms of like understanding music and how to like put together a song. So it's like so much different things.
Yeah.
And then you're traveling on the road and you still have to like find time for family, find time for
That's
friends. So it is
Because you
not-
need that balance.
yeah, because you
do.
could get a big song in the morning, but can you maintain that and take it to the next level? And then that's a whole different ball game. Yeah.
It's true. It's true. So I guess you started to take this gym more serious now that you're doing some power soca and things.
Well, come on, man. I mean, we running up and down and stuff. So I definitely had to, every carnival I go through like trying to get my energy and stamina level up. Because you know from the time February hit is like.
It's nonstop.
Yeah.
And it's day, night. Like people that have never been to Trinidad Carnival, it's difficult to explain.
When I see them, you know, when I see like the comparisons to like the different carnivals, no, mind you, there's no best carnival. There's no one is better than the other. I think every island has something special. But I think what makes Trinidad special is that our carnival is almost months long, and like the pumping is crazy.
It really
we have like end of year staff parties like in December, end of November, right? Then we have Christmas. Christmas in itself is like, you know, that kind of vibe. And then January, the early parties. Every weekend is like crazy parties.
Yeah. You
know, especially those short seasons is crazy.
And then when you get to that final 2 weeks, bro, it's
just
morning.
Like the weekend,
after,
that weekend, that weekend is crazy.
Yeah. And it's all hours of the day. Like,
yeah.
I tell people, listen, when I was younger, yes, you go in everything, you know, you try to, you be in everything. But now the amount of events, and it's all inclusive this, it's Juve that, it's this, that. So it's 2 o'clock. I'm like, listen, pace yourself, eh?
For sure. But I just think Trinidad Carnival is really a marathon.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a marathon for sure.
Yeah, for sure. So for you now, I guess I've been seeing a lot of comparisons, and I spoke to you about this as well with, you know, David Rudder.
Yeah.
How does it feel to be compared to an icon like that?
I mean, it's truly a blessing. I mean, to see people compare you to somebody on that stature, I mean, that's a blessing for sure.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's definitely a humbling comparison as well to see people just hold you in that high regard. I mean, I am just doing the best I can. You know what I mean? If you choose to view it in that light, I respect that and thank you. But I don't live with that in my brain. Yeah, okay. I don't live with that in my brain. To me, I'm just a ordinary man doing music, and I have flaws just like everybody else. I have bad days like everybody else, and I just doing my best.
Yeah. Okay. One of the good things that you've done though is release this album.
Yeah, home.
And again, one of the things that you will see in media and social media as well as print media is the talk that I guess soca music is only produced during Carnival and then nothing else happens after that. Now you released this in June.
Yeah.
And I know I could talk for other artists because obviously every island has their Carnival. So to me, that argument of saying it's only produced here, it's flawed because
definitely
you could hear it throughout the whole year, right? But for Trinidadian artists specifically, since you do these things with so much intention, why did you choose to release the album, I guess, post-Carnival in June?
I think Carnival is very noisy.
Okay.
But I am gonna switch the script a bit, but you know, that's something else. But I think Carnival was very busy. And we really was focusing on making sure, you know, the first event that we did, which is Master Experience, was a success as it was really, really well executed. So big thanks to the team and Brian McFarlane and just kind of all the way. So we felt like... We can talk
about that too, because I mean, that was a huge accomplishment.
Definitely.
And to combine like traditional mass
Yes.
with the music. Like it was amazing. It looked really good. So congratulations.
So to do that, and also the album would have been a lot for that type of carnival season.
Mm-hmm.
So we just kind of held back and was like, you know what, let's take the time to really package this album correct.
Okay.
And let's get it done correctly. And then we go over to getting the album done. And then also too, I think during the year, there isn't as much going on. So we could really get people attention because during Carnival is more of a, you know, where's road match and we're shaking the party.
Right.
So, you know, I don't think we have that listenership like that, especially this Carnival. This Carnival was a lot going on, you know.
Yeah, it's true. So, it's true. And you have real good music. And this is why even I mentioned it on stage with Soca Day at the CNE. It's like to see the three of you, GBM Neutron and Curating, be able to perform catalog.
Yeah.
Right?
Neutron, boy.
Like catalog, you know. Like it wasn't just, okay, sing, if we're using Neutron as an example, usually you would have to, it's one piece. He could do a little piece of practice and come back to one piece. Toronto, love you, good night. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But this is a time where you get to just go and sing your full song, get applause, do your little argument, whatever you need to do, have the call and response. What I saw in you, like the artistry,
yeah, man, thank you.
Doing the brass of Tiny Whiny and then going into Dan. Like it make my paws raised in that moment.
Appreciate
like, it was
that.
Well done. And to see it, how it was received. Was amazing. So for you, kudos. But I'm curious, like in constructing your album, did you do it knowing that you would get these moments then where you get to perform
definitely.
album cuts and,
definitely. So how we even put together the album, like if you listen from track 1 to the end, it's almost like a storyline. You know, it starts off where it's like you're searching for home, you're searching for a place where you feel, you know, welcomed and respected and loved. So the first track is Lighthouse. Right? So it's almost like, you know, you're in the darkness and you're drifting ashore, but you're looking and there's this lighthouse that is just there, like, you know, bringing you in. And by the time you reach there, mass come again.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Well done, yes.
And it just keeps going on till you reach down to the home, train to the bone. And so it's definitely a properly curated album.
I love that you do everything with intention, man. Sometimes you talk to artists and it's like, I just put together all the hits and, you know, make an album.
Nah. And also I think it's something Marshall was talking to me about at that time when he was talking about, you know, doing like body of work. Destra and Marshall actually, he was like doing body of work. I try to always find a way to put out bodies of work. And I think that's a way where we could experiment with like songs like Lighthouse and Peace of Mind. And because when I dropped it, people were like, oh, I didn't know you could do this kind of vibe. Right. Oh, I didn't know. Because during Carnival, as I always say, like when we go into Carnival mode, Carnival is what it is. Like there is no trying to like...
You're not going to reinvent that wheel.
No. But what we could do is understand that this is what it is. Let's use this, how we're going to use this, and also try and expand on it.
Yeah.
And that's really what the album is, just expanding on Carnival, expanding on our culture and experimenting a bit. You know, there is the DNA, there is the energy, but we can still, you know, we can still trap it a bit. We can still, you know.
And to me, I just love the balance, King, because to me, that is what I feel sometimes is missing in it. Because everybody wants to run down this crop of music that evokes a certain type of emotion, which obviously, as you said, we're not trying to reinvent the wheel. I get it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it would be nice to have a little something else.
But even in the parties, right? You know, you as a DJ, a man who in the thing for years, right? Even in the parties, and something I've learned over the last 2 years, even in the parties, we can't jump and wave whole night.
No, you can't.
You know what I mean? So sometimes that little rock, bro.
It's amazing.
You know what I mean? And I think even last night they're just watching Curating, Jam Tongue, like this is not jump up and weave song. No. This is like a, you know, you find yourself lost in the emotion. I myself, I on the side of the stage and just watching them perform, and I myself just hot and groovy, you know, just cool, be cool. And I think that's the dynamic of where I would like to see the genre Like we could jump and wave and we could sing rag up, but we could also strip it down and just rock back, you know, show that dynamic in the genre.
Yeah, 100%. And what I love though, bro, with your songwriting in particular, and I want to talk to you about your style in a second. But in soca, and especially more maybe the booyah space, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of the cussing, very like crass. It's very like direct to the point.
Yeah.
And then you mention peace of mind, and you'll say, "Listen, if you go give me peace peace of mind."
Yeah.
Like done.
Yeah.
You win. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, I want to dive in that water then. Like
yeah. But don't get me wrong. I am someone I appreciate the zest. I appreciate the bouillon.
It's the balance. It's all.
Yeah. So I just happen to be on that side of the scale, but I still appreciate, like I love Ridge, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for
Speedy, but like I find that bad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But for me, I believe in doing music I want to hear.
Okay.
So like I want to hear like wordplay. I want to hear like melodies. So I tend to like draw for that more than just the quick, quick responses. You know, I rather you take 2 days to appreciate it and it holds you for a lifetime than you catch it in 10 seconds and you throw it away tomorrow. Yeah.
Well said. Yeah. No, that's true, man. And I like that because it's timeless.
Yeah.
This body of work you're producing is something that people can listen to for years.
Yeah, that was on my mind too, because when I listened to like, Shadow Fully Loaded, the Gilded Collection.
Yeah.
Even Sparrow had an album, Kitchen had an album, Dr. Kitch, that album was real good too. And listening back to some of these albums, projects, they were like a lot of timeless songs. Even Marshall, Book of Angels, that's like a timeless album for me. And just trying to like, okay, I'm in this space now. Let me try and package something. And I think 20 years down the road, I might just, is this? Hey. Uncle Tej, boy. And just press play and it's like, well, hey, you remember this? Look at this album here. I didn't even, and because that's the experience I got listening to like those albums,
Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah.
I love that. All right. So your style then, as you say, you want to create timeless music. This is the vibe that you're doing. Is it something that you write first and then apply the music, or is it similar to how you said you get the rhythms and the beats and then?
Sometimes so crazy enough, right? When I'm writing music, that usually is for like me. The music and the writing is like, it kind of comes together as one.
Okay.
Rather than sometimes when I write songs for other people, it just mostly be like the beat is there and
they'll send you
and then you feel it and you just write a song on the beat. And then there are like the songs like How I Living, where like I was just me kind of playing the guitar and just kind of almost freestyling in a way. And they took the guitar that I played, they took the thing, and the farmer was like, I love this. And it also worked in that regards. But and I find the songs that have the most meaning usually comes from that place where the music and the lyrics are kind of coming together while it goes.
Nice.
So,
okay. And what's amazing with you as well is, obviously you just mentioned Fama. So very established, in this thing for years, legend. And then you also mentioned Wadix earlier.
Yeah.
So how do you go from, okay, let me give this song to somebody who may not be as known? Because you'll have writers who are like, I just want to write for these big names because I know I'm going to get the credit and so on.
Well, to be honest, Wadix has been trying for a while, and it's somebody that I saw and I was like, you know what, hey bro, you're doing your thing. I think this song could work for you. And, he did it and it just became what it is.
Worked,
I could only give you a good song, but he went out there, perform his song, do his thing, and I can't even take credit for that. That's just me me giving you a good song and you going out there and doing your thing. Yeah. And the same for Farmer. I mean, he's a legend, but I can only give you a good song. Like people come to you and be like, you're a real big writer, our song, and it's just like, bro, I can't tell you what is a hit song. I can't
Right.
write a hit song for you. I could write a good song. And it's up to you now to believe
take
in
that,
that song
yeah.
and take that song, because I can't go out there and perform the
Right.
song and market the song for it, you know?
So do you have a song that you wrote that you felt didn't get as far as it should have because that particular artist? And I'm not saying it because you're gonna throw the artist under the bus, but I'm curious. Like, you know, sometimes you write something.
There are some songs. There are some
you know,
songs.
you're gonna have to name a couple then. Yeah.
That's trouble. That's trouble. That's trouble. I won't do that. But there are some songs where, you know, you listen back and you be like, hey boy.
If only.
If only.
Yeah.
Like, why? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because it comes from like a place where it's like, you know, you want to see this thing flourish and go to the moon and back.
Mhm.
And it just didn't. That's part of it too. Huh?
Yeah. Listen, at the end, it's like, you know the potential of something.
Yeah.
And if somebody else doesn't do the work, or they could have had other reasons as to why
Yeah.
it didn't connect.
Yeah.
It could be a variety of things, right?
You know what song was like that for me? Where we did it and I was like, yeah, it's a good song. Yeah, this is a good song. But I don't know. Was Cocotee. Right?
Mm.
So when we wrote Cocotee, Cocotee is actually a song that I wrote while working on Tabanka.
Okay.
Right? So I was like, Tabanka is it. You know what I mean? It's like a thing.
Uh-huh.
And then Tana was like, bro, you know, I want to pitch Cocotee to Kesper. I was like, yeah, bro, why not? Because again, like I was more so focused on Tabanka.
So
I
at
was
the
just
time,
like-
Cocotee was yours then.
But not really mine. It was just like a song that we
Okay.
just started, right?
Mhm.
And, you know, Kes was like, yeah, this bad, whatever. And Kes then come and like swapped out certain things and like make it. When I heard the Miss How she named that they added,
Yeah.
I was like, whoo.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is it.
Yeah.
Because we just had like the verses and like the idea,
Okay.
but then they came and they really expanded on it and made it like tenfold now. So it's
Mhm.
like, that's a good example of like an artist kind of taking the song and then doing exactly like what you would want for the song.
Right.
And,
And
it's just
making it there.
Yeah,
is
just
kinda-
become what it is. And it's
Yeah.
Cocotee, everybody. Cocotee, Miss How she named,
Yeah.
and the rest is history.
Don't try to get out of the question though. Because you name a song
Nah,
that reach
can't do that.
that reach all kind of thing. Okay, I'll give you one that I felt.
Mhm.
And again, I know you produced it. I assume you wrote it too.
It's a-
Was the Patrice
Which
on
one?
the 10 times over rhythm? Is that what's the name of that rhythm? What's that called? 10 times over. Is that the name of the rhythm? It was a slow. It's like a 103 or 102.
Work
BPM.
for it.
Work for it.
Work for it.
That's it.
You know, I think sometimes because of the Carnival season, I think it's hard for them to digest like those kind of songs.
Mhm.
I remember that Carnival season being a really, really, really like intense Carnival season. So I think I would say it's because of the Carnival season, not so much
and
the
again, like I'm
artist.
not blaming her. I'm just
Yeah,
saying
yeah.
that like that is a song that I play,
Yeah,
and I was like, this song real bad.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
this is one of those songs and rhythms that could just keep going.
Yeah,
but
one
it just,
rhythm. Way, G, where you went back.
yeah, you know what I mean? So that's one of them that I remember, and it's like, nah, boy, this rhythm real bad,
Boy. Yeah.
and it just never connect for whatever reason.
But you know, right? That is so crazy because like there are spaces that we go in. Like I remember going to Turks and Caicos, right?
Okay,
And you know, these people would be like, they would mention songs like that. They would be like, you know, work for it, Kaya. Like, I
Mhm.
love that rhythm. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Because those are like they are like the soca fanatics who just like they listen to like your entire catalog.
yes, yeah.
You know what I mean? So there are zones that we would go in that they would request that.
Yeah. And what is amazing though with you and your catalog is that as young as you are in
Mhm.
this business, you still have people that will find a song.
Yeah.
Like I saw a comment on a social media thing where they were like, oh, I didn't hear you sing Dingo Lay last night. I didn't hear this. And it's like,
Dude.
how much song?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
boy.
But
That's
it's
so
true.
true, you know. But you know, it's like it's so tricky now.
Yeah.
You know, it's so tricky because you're trying to keep everything within like a
at certain timing.
a certain time, and
Plus,
you know,
you have new stuff.
yeah.
Like it's
I'm
difficult.
going to have a serious problem next Carnival, where and I had that conversation with Cohen a year, because like Cohen catalog is like
deep, yeah.
yeah, deep. So at the time I remember talking to him, and I was asking like, bro, how like you just go about choosing these songs? He's like, boy, sometimes I just reach a point where I put everything and just chop it. You know, because it's always gonna have somebody say, well, you ain't sing Possess, or you ain't sing this, or you know, but it's so much
But
music.
you only have a 15-20 minutes. Or
Yeah,
whatever it is, so
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So hopefully, you know, we get some more time.
It's a good problem to have, though.
Yeah, that's blessings. That is blessings.
You gotta
bro.
look at it from that perspective. It's a good problem to have.
Great
you know what I mean?
problem.
So since you're about intention, going into the next Carnival season, you said you may or may not release around your birthday.
Yeah, may or may not. It's a feeling.
Okay.
It's a feeling.
Well, I have a feeling it's looking like you have another album coming, I guess. Right? I have a feeling.
Definitely. No, definitely.
Okay.
I could definitely say that. Right now, I'm just curating the album in a way where I want this to be an album that, you know, it's Carnival time, and you could afford to feel our Carnival no matter where you are.
Okay.
The last album was not really that. It was really just more personal experience of being Caribbean and being home. But this is really the album where I want you to feel Carnival, like Trinidad and Tobago Carnival. I want you to feel that energy no matter where you are. Like you must be in Belgium, and when you feel this project, it's like you feel Carnival. You feel you know what? I'll say I wasn't going on, but I'm booking this flight.
Yeah.
That's the energy I want to kind of get off of this project.
Nice. Okay. All right. And do you have any idea when we can start looking for this new music to
no
start
worries.
dropping?
You'll see. You'll see.
I'll look out.
You'll
I'll look
see.
out. Keep refreshing the email and thing. You know what I mean?
You'll see. No, but I'm, as I was telling Kyle today in management, I was telling them, you know, I am honestly excited for next year Carnival. I'm not for the music, not for anything. I think I'm just in a real good space.
Yeah.
You know, the year kind of started off rough, but I think I'm in a real good space, and I'm just eager to see, you know, where things go. You know?
Yeah.
And that's a great feeling to have.
To be honest, like seeing you now compared to when I've seen you like last year, you just seem like you're at peace, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So, you know, so much different things happen in life too, over the past couple of months, you know. My mom is back in Trinidad, so that's that kind of, I get to spend time with her a little bit more than I usually would. And just like family good, you know, we be doing well. And sometimes as like young Black men, when you're doing well, sometimes, especially coming from where I come from, you try to tell yourself subconsciously that, you know, you don't deserve it, or you're not worth it. And I've reached a place where, you know, I do deserve this, and I'm grateful.
Yeah.
But I do deserve this. Yeah, I work hard for this, you know, and I just reached that place where, you know, I'm at peace that I am doing what I'm doing what I love, and I'm successful doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I want to also be continuously successful doing it.
Yeah, 100%. Well, listen, watching you on that CNE bandshell stage, like, this is your calling, bro. Like, this is what you're meant to do. You know? I see it. I know thousands upon thousands of people saw it.
Yeah, listen, last night was, I mean, and it's not only for me, right? To me, like, Neutron was the highlight for me, to be honest. Like, I think I've seen them perform so much times. Not saying like they were not great performances, but like this one, it felt real special.
Yeah.
Like I didn't really see that in him. Like there was something in him now.
Yeah.
And it was just an honor to just watch him in that element last night. Last night it wasn't really so much about me. I was just watching him, and then Curating too. I mean, Curating is like a real brother to me. So just sharing stage with two of them in particular, and seeing two of them in their element last night. Yeah, boy. Yeah. That was the win for me, to be honest.
Watching, like, same thing. I was on the side where you were as well. And when GBM gave the argument and talking to the person in the crowd about what
Yeah,
the
I was
person
like,
would wear, right? And we know what's coming, right?
Yeah.
And then Curating walks on singing this song, and you just start to hear the roar from the crowd,
Yeah.
knowing that this is his first time stepping foot here. It's like, I get goosebumps.
Wait, so that was his first Canada ever?
Yeah.
Way, you see?
Yeah.
So I have this thing where I tell him, right? I say, bro, you know, I walk in so you could run, you know, because it's like little things I would like do now, like where I started to use in-ear monitors. You know, it's like if I see something that works, I would be like, bro, check this out. This might actually help, you know, because it's like certain things I had to kind of learn on the go. But I'm like, if I could impact this knowledge onto you and it helps you go faster, so I don't mind walking so you could run.
Yeah.
You know, because I think he's a real amazing vocalist, boy. And real amazing.
Yeah,
So
trust me. And I'm glad that you're like that. You don't hold back. You don't gatekeep then.
nah, again, I come up in a time in soca where the gatekeeping now kind of lessen down a bit now. And I see the perks because, you know, that's the only way you'll get like more youths coming up and they feel as though they could do soca now. You know, so even now, like where they have like, the whole thing about gatekeeping or whatever, I don't think there's any gatekeeping. I think you just, it's so open now. All you have to do is just really get a good song and just apply yourself and don't look for like the quick way.
Yeah.
Like sometimes the quick way is so saturated, boy.
Yeah.
So sometimes you gotta come around the bend now.
Yeah.
Build the skill set, like learn to at least record yourself so you could at least get as much. Imagine having to wait on a producer or studio time, like sometimes buy up your little equipment and invest in recording, you know, go do some YouTube and figure out how to record yourself so you could record as much ideas and get that creative energy out, you know?
That's such great advice because I feel like a lot of the people that will have that argument about gatekeeping and this one holding me back, that one holding me back, are the ones who want the shortcuts.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. They're the ones not willing to do that work because it takes work.
You know,
to make it look as easy. Because people will look at you on stage and say, come on, I could
doing nothing really.
I could run through, I could run through the town too.
Yeah.
Right?
But I will say this though, right? Here, when things truly changed for me was when I changed my perspective on things. So, of course, before this, I had a relationship with Cass, a relationship with Marshall, you know, writing for them, of course. And I could have easily pick up the phone and say, you know, hey, Marshall, I have a song here and I want you to collab on it. Or, hey, Cass, I have a song here and I want you to collab on it. And, you know, push for that. And, you know, maybe they might have feel sorry for me and say, well, you know, he really write a song for me. He gave me a little big tune. Let me give him the blight. But I never took that route, to be honest. I never took that route because I felt like I see so much people get that moment and then it never really did anything for them because you don't know what it is to stand on your own 2 feet. And I was always aware of that. But I was like, but how come this man get a collab and then you never really see anything happen? Because things are happening, you know, not really, you don't really understand what's going on. You get the moment and then that machine is working for you. So that machine's like, boom. But then you don't really understand how to like do these steps now. So I was like, you know what? I feel like I want to, so even with me, like over the years, like I've been building my own mailing list. You know, that's why, hey, Jay, send me an email.
Yeah.
And I have, you know, these little things, like just understanding those little things just go tenfold, but that's just my way. You know, I've also seen people take it the other way and get through and maintain it.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah, so
everybody have their path, but I think the organic, hardworking way that you're going about it is what can sustain that long-term, you know,
that's it for me. I would definitely want to, you know, be here 10, 15 years. I want the music to live on as much as possible. Yeah. I mean, funny enough, when I did some stuff with Kevin Little, I told him that I was like, you know, bro, you know, you have the one of a kind, you know, like, because he goes and travel Dubai and like that song is like up to this day, like anywhere you go.
And there was an interview where he had said that he was like, he would rather that one song versus, and I think he might have even mentioned Bungie's name at the time, but he was like, you could have a catalog like that. Because I think when he did that interview, I don't know if Differentology had taken off.
Yeah.
But it was just saying like, you could have this and be a hero there, but I am going to all these spaces off of this one song.
I want a better boat though. I want a better boat.
You want everything,
Yeah, I think catalog important.
It is.
Yeah, so I want a better boat. But that's the next thing, one shoe don't fit all. So you have to know like that's the next big thing, boy. For any young artists out there looking on, like you have to know what you want out of it. I think that's real important. Like I knew what I wanted out of it. So, that determines how I operate and what I want or what I don't want.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Honestly, King, listen, man, it's refreshing to see somebody, because there's times where you talk to artists and it becomes like, I'm just gonna throw and see what sticks. If you understand what I mean. But
yeah.
With you, there seems to be so much intention and the work ethic that goes behind it in curating what you want to do. Nothing is happening by chance. Now, you're right. One shoe won't fit all, so you don't know.
Yeah, you don't know
how it's gonna be received. But you're gonna do something how you and your team feels.
Yeah.
All right.
Always.
You have it. And
always.
If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
Fingers, it works.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed, it works.
You know what I mean? So we're looking forward to seeing what's next. But even if it doesn't, not putting that in the universe, but if there is no other DNA.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, there'll never be another DNA. Okay. I already live, like I was telling him just that today, like there will never be another DNA. And I was also not searching for that. I was like, listen, this is what it is. And I wouldn't even try to like create that. That was a moment, that was a feeling, and it did what it did. Just like how, energy is what it is. It'll never be another energy.
Okay.
Me, I also get like bored musically very fast. So it's like, I don't want to keep trying to do the same thing over and over. Let's try and push the envelope. You know what I mean? So for me, those songs are that.
Right.
We can't recreate that.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So you did that. That has its space in your history, and you're going to create something else and see where that.
Yeah, we keep going. We keep going on. And luckily, I think God has just continued to bless me in a way where, the creativity is still flowing, and it's crazy now because I don't feel as pressured as before. So it's really just experimenting freely. But of course, still understanding that, you have to, make sure people feel the music and they could have a good time to it too. There's still, little things we still have to, little things you still have to check off the box. Right. But yeah.
Yeah, to make sure there's a little thing that people could sing along with. Or
whatever, We can't, just.
Right.
Yeah. And it's not yet.
Right. No, but with your songwriting style, bro, like I see it. I love it. I think it resonates with a lot of people.
Thank you, bro.
From the topics to just the way you construct these songs.
Yeah. I want family friendly stuff, but I want stuff that you could just sit down and like, little baby, toddler, mommy, granny, and you could just press play and you don't have to be like, wait, hey, load on that. Nah, turn it up. Let everybody enjoy it. Yeah. So I'm very conscious of that. Like I always want music that everybody could listen to it.
Yeah, 100%. Well, you're doing it, man. So thank you so much for, taking the time out, because I know it's a whirlwind.
Yeah.
I catch a flight just now.
Yeah.
So definitely appreciate you stepping into the therapy lounge.
Man. It definitely was. Well, I'm at peace. So it's good to just reinforce it on the therapy lounge. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%, man. Thank you, King. So Mical, Teja, look out for the album. Stream it home on all streaming platforms.
Definitely.
And we'll look out for the next stuff when it comes out. But listen, it doesn't matter what is coming up. Stream that. Yeah. Because listen, it's an incredible body of work. And I think it's one of those albums that, as I mentioned to you, people could listen to it over and over again. So I don't want it to be something where they dash it away when you come out with a new album,
Nah.
Behave yourself.
No dashing away. No dashing away. I think everything complementing each other.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this will be a nice part 2 to that then, you said. A continuation?
Not really part 2, more just evolution.
Evolution. Well said.
Yeah, more evolution. Because I think it is a different vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see it in your face, you know. It's like you're biting your lip, like you want to say something.
No man, I think it's just real good music. But I was on the balcony last night there in the hotel, and no, night before, sorry. And just listening to some of the music, and I was just like, yeah, man, I feel good about it.
Yeah.
I feel good. Like even if we go there this year and people like, I'll be like, I'm going to sing this.
Right.
Yeah, I'm going to sing this. I'm going to sing this. I love it.
Good.
I love it.
Nice. Well, we love it too, man. Full support. Mical, Teja, thank you once again, King.
Thank you.
Yeah, love.